Sup, gigglers?
Gary, fix the Wi-Fi.
Manifest that shit.
OD can't manage. I mean, the day just got away from me.
We're at our new studio.
I guess it is a studio.
It's decorated in my style right now, but we will be changing it. But check us out on YouTube.
Well, honestly, because too many people were going to our studio, we didn't feel safe.
We didn't feel safe.
There was one time where there was 3 straight men in there, like, talking logistics, and I was like, this is Giggling Squad.
No, and we need to hold space for giggling, and men take that space.
Do you remember that time? And I was like, well, we can't start the pod if there's 3 men here. It's
I
not
know.
safe.
But we just sat there, and they're like, are you guys going to start? And we're like, when you leave.
No, I literally got nervous. I was like, I can't
Or when
talk
the
my
UPS
shit.
guy came in, and I was like, we will wait.
No,
We'll wait.
You were that teacher. You were the substitute
I'll wait.
teacher.
I'll wait.
I hated when teachers did that. I would get so frustrated.
I feel like all your memories from school were difficult.
Let's not talk about them.
Let's not talk about it. You guys, happy beginning of the week. I have so much shit to say.
Yeah. I feel like you watched a lot of things over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I feel like I watched some Hannah things just to be able to speak to you.
I love that. You're like, just to argue.
Just to fit in.
I do have to announce I did get my period. I'm day 2.
Congrats.
When you're not on birth control, day 2 is like heavy. Monstrous. Like sitting down is uncomfortable.
We're synced up. Like we're one person.
We're one person now. And it's funny because you wrote, I can't do tampons.
No.
Is your vagina too wide or too small? The canal.
How dare you?
I know.
I feel like I've said this before. I can't do tampons anymore, but I'm always doing it like the first 3 days because I'm not a monster.
You can't just free bleed.
I can't just
you have to,
free bleed.
I was gonna say
free bleed.
I was gonna say you have to go to work, but you don't. But you can't free bleed on
I can't free bleed.
With Daphne. Daphne's white.
Well, guess what? I free bleed now. I actually can't even do it on the first day. Like, I know that it's in there and I can sense it. And I can almost feel my body like being like, get out. Like,
that's
pushing
exactly how I feel about thongs.
Okay, interesting.
Have we come to an understanding?
I think we have. Because I'm just not.
The second I wear a thong, I'm like, take it off. I could feel it. I'm in a conversation and I'm like, do you know there's something up my butthole?
And because I drink so much of my Stanley, I'm constantly peeing. So I'm like, I'm not changing my tampon every time I pee. And I'm one of those people that has to do that.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just like, oh, I'll put toilet paper in there. Like, I can't do it.
I'm proud of you for setting boundaries and holding space in your pussy for something else besides a tampon. I do have to say one thing about our friendship is you make me better aesthetically. Because one thing about tour is like I have to show up and at least show that I tried.
Yeah.
Like that's, I feel like, our understanding. Like you will not be upset if you saw that I put in an effort.
Yeah.
So after
No, you were late today and I was like, where's Hannah? And then Grace goes, she's Dyson air wrapping her hair. And I go, give her a minute.
You go, let her take as long as she
Let her
needs.
cook.
Let her cook. Let that motherfucker cook. So
this is also the middle of the night for us. It's 10 a.m.
It's 10 a.m. Also, so we've been on tour, which is chaos.
It was our last week.
Our last week
I
of
love the
2024.
Giggler so much. Cannot wait for it to be done.
It's not done because we keep adding. You guys, we're adding. Don't worry. But it's done for 2024. But you don't have time when you come back from tour to like do normal things. So it hit me last week.
What are normal things?
Getting
Talking
a
to your
haircut.
family.
Talking to family. Drinking water. No, but I had like a self-care chaos day. I had to get lasered. Because the one rule with lasering is if you don't do it the next month.
It's like a waste, yeah.
So I got my laser, I got my hair did, and I got my nails did.
All in one day?
All in one day. It was chaos.
Oh my gosh. You did all of that yesterday?
Yes.
Wow.
But I got my period. So I'm so excited to get lasered. And I just look her in the eye and I'm like, oh my God, I'm corked right now.
Yeah.
And if something comes out, like it's a waterfall.
Okay.
And she was like, it's totally fine.
Yeah, they don't care about that. Except for you, did it hurt more? Like I actually can't get laser when I have my period.
I feel like I'm dealing with so much emotional pain day to day. The physical pain is a is freedom
because
for
it
me.
does make you like
It's a
more
reprieve.
sensitive.
I've never said reprieve on the podcast, but it was a reprieve.
It felt good.
I love
Where are
the
you
pain
doing?
of
Where are you
laser.
doing? What are your areas?
As you said, eyebrows down.
Are you?
Eyebrows fucking down.
So you're doing your underarms?
Well, because I'm married to an Irishman who is a dolphin.
yeah, and probably has blonde hair anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Literally doesn't have hair on his legs. Like stunning.
That's crazy. So you're doing underarms,
Belly
legs, belly button. Are you doing full vagina or you're just doing like bikini?
Full vagina.
Oh, wow. Oh, she's here for a while.
She's here for 4 hours. She moves in. She's paying rent. And I know everything about her. But we talked about we have a nail girl.
yeah.
Shout out. She's
We have the same
best.
nail girl. Her name
So
is Jacqueline.
what we're obsessed about her is that she does not care to speak to us.
Actually prefers to not speak.
And what's so funny is we're on the road a lot, so like we have the same conversation 1,000 times. So like you get in the Uber and you're like, I don't want to talk about what we're doing. And like you get to the hotel, you don't have the same conversation. Like we actually, me and you don't like chatting. We're
No.
not chatters.
No, we're not yappers.
We're
Some would
shit
assume
talkers.
we are yapping all the time. We're not.
We're not. And that's the one thing, you know, when your mom was like, I'm surprised you're friends with Hannah. I've been thinking about that. That's kept me up at night. Because we laughed and then I went home and I got sad. And I said, what did she mean by that? What did she mean by that? But what I realized,
No
I'm
one
outgoing,
can act like you and me be okay with it. It's only you.
No, but this is the thing. I'm not out here just like
Chatting.
talking to talk.
Talking to me.
I'm not coming up to you like saying, I'm asking questions when I feel appropriate.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. If I was
You're
a
not
yapper,
just talking to
you couldn't.
talk.
You wouldn't be able to handle
No, when
me.
you're speaking, you have things to say that are important.
I wouldn't say that. That's a reach. I just think, you know, some people are like, I need to just like take up air
Yesterday?
with stories. At least I'm making jokes.
Yesterday, I had Jacqueline over at my apartment. Obviously, Daphne can't speak, but like in my head, she can. And then I was getting my Christmas tree delivered. For like 30 minutes, there were 3 grown adults in my home. Not a word was said. Not a single word was said.
So this is the funny thing about us. I don't want to talk,
No.
but when I can sense someone doesn't want to talk to me,
Yeah. Then you're
I
like,
want to talk.
interesting.
I want to talk. So I'm sitting there with Jacqueline because we both got our nails done yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to get her to want to talk to me. But it's like a cat.
Mm-hmm.
You can't force it. You have to look like you don't
Yeah.
want to talk to them.
Yeah.
An hour in, she looked at me and she said, how was your Thanksgiving? And I said, it feels good to win.
Also, there's something with Jacqueline where I feel like she abides by like HIPAA laws.
Yes.
Because like when she's at your house and then she comes to mine, I'm always like, oh, you were with Hannah. Like just to see what she says. And then I'm like, would she get on her nails? And she was like, almost like didn't tell me. She was like, oh, she, I was like, tell me what she
Well,
did.
because I'm her favorite right now.
She was like, she did pink with a little chrome. And I said, oh, that's so
A little
interesting
beige
for her.
coated. So she also, like, we do have a fun relationship, me and Jacqueline. I don't know if she would say
I like
that.
the way you say her name.
Jacqueline.
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 Like she's not a jack-o'-lantern.
She's from
Jacqueline.
Queens, so like we get each other because Des is from Queens. Anyway, when she was leaving, my initial thing to do was to like fuck with you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be like, can you tell Paige that like my knuckles are smaller than hers
Yeah.
or something? But I just felt like our relationship
Yeah,
wasn't,
it wasn't there yet.
Because she would be like, no, and then I'd put her in an awkward, and I don't want to ever put Jacqueline in an awkward position, but so
Yeah.
badly, I was like, what is something she could say that would like fuck with Paige?
No, that was good. No, we should start doing more pranks and have Jacqueline be in the middle because she'd really not like it.
Speaking of hair, I did get my the top of my feet lasered as well.
Oh, wow.
So men obviously have been doing like horrible things for the last 1,000 years, centuries.
Yeah.
Jacob Elordi was the last one.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. Let's hold space. Take a minute.
For Jake.
Okay, typically I'm into facial hair because a lot of men are ugly.
Well, now you're bringing me to my point about beards, which I'm fucking right.
Yeah.
This is what I have to say about beards. If you're an ugly man This is my
And
beard.
so many of them are.
As most of them are. This is my beard theory. If you're an ugly man, you get a beard, then you become a bearded man.
Yeah.
And a bearded
And you've
man,
gone up automatically 3 points.
you're a man with a beard.
Yep.
You look like you could fix something.
Yeah.
It's like makeup for men. It's
Yes,
contour
it's
for
makeup
men.
for men.
It gives you a little bit. You're a man with a beard, and
Yeah.
girls could get by that.
Yeah. We've come up with a story because of your beard. We've made you more interesting in our head because you have a beard. We're like,
And you
what's
can-
he hiding in there?
Exactly. You could hide your secret family, your
Yeah.
17 chins, a snack. You could hide whatever you want in that beard, and you've become a bearded man, and we can perceive that, and that's okay with us. When you're Jacob fucking Elordi, and you have a jawline, and you have a je ne sais quoi to your face, when you get a beard, you then go down to just a bearded man, and you lose the magic. When you have a fucking jawline, do not get a big beard. Also, with the long hair, I know it's for
It
a
also
role.
is like a little, oh, is it?
I'm just saying that because I think when guys do something for a role, I'm okay with it
Oh.
because it's for work. Because it means they're like working.
Yeah.
And I like when they're busy.
It had like a reddish tint to it.
Oh, like a copper cowgirl? Cowboy copper. It was
It
giving.
was Hannah Burner red a little bit on the sides.
I don't know what this person looks like, but this is what I envision. He looks like looked like Teddy Mellencamp. No, John Mellencamp. Teddy Mellencamp's dad. That's what
you
I think.
don't know what John Mellencamp looks like. Neither
No.
do I. Who am I to say?
But that's what I think John
In your
Mellencamp
head.
looks like. In the 70s, that's what John Mellencamp
Jacob
looked
Elordi.
like. And Chris doesn't have his computer, but we're going to put it underneath and see if I was accurate or not.
Okay. I'm going to say no, but maybe. Who am I?
Hall & Oates. He looks like Hall & Oates. I don't know what Hall & Oates looks like.
No, but
Mom, did he look? My mom is here. No?
I feel like in the 70s, everyone had
long hair
that
and
kind
a
of
beard.
beard.
So what are the girls to do?
I was upset by it.
The comments were so funny. They were like, this is the moment we realized he was just tall.
I was upset by it, but then I took a step back and I said, sometimes I cut a bob and I just go off and I'm like, and today I have really short hair. Maybe he is also just like, and I've been wanting to try a beard and I'm going to try it.
But this is the thing. When you cut a bob, it's a religious cultural experience.
That's true.
It is incredible. And
Him growing a beard is just
you're
lazy.
emphasizing your jawline. He's taking away. He's
Yeah.
covering something.
What do you think his girlfriend felt? I'm sure she likes it.
What do you think about your boyfriend or girlfriend having opinions on your like hair?
I think it's okay for girls and it's not okay for boys.
Agreed. No, agreed. So Dez made a joke and he was like, I kind of like your natural hair better. Like I didn't marry a redhead. And I was like, how do I say in
But this is
How do I say I don't
feels
care?
like your natural color.
That's what I told him. Also, this is why I know he's lying. He didn't know I was red until I told him it was red.
Right.
Because he's straight.
Like if we put all your different hair colors in a lineup,
He wouldn't be able to. He's colorblind. He doesn't know.
Is he actually?
No, but all men are colorblind. That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's why they can't be pilots.
That's why. Wait, can we talk about how we? Oh wait, we already talked about it, but I'm still shooketh from when we landed and then just went back up.
Went back up. No, that was scary. That was really scary.
Jack Harlow.
Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about next.
So my mom is here, who's a jazz singer. Mom, you had opinions.
On Jack Harlow singing Elvis. He could.
She said he couldn't
Oh my
sing.
God! Wait. See, this is why.
For it to get good, it never got good.
This is why men are so good at tricking us because I thought like, oh my God, he's so good at it.
This is the thing. It's the bare minimum, and it's so right. Imagine like like Ice Spice
Yeah.
singing jazz. She would have been critiqued insanely. Ice Spice, if you can, go for it.
Like
But I'm
if she
saying-
tried to sing like Whitney Houston.
well, if she just went on stage, yeah, and tried to sing, everyone would be like, she can't sing. And I don't even know what she sounds like, but it wouldn't be
Yeah.
critiqued. That man, he has a good tone. I like his tone, but I don't think he was hitting notes. Like opposite of me, I hit notes, don't have a tone. I think
See, I feel like I'm not even musically inclined enough to know, except for you, when something sounds bad.
Did we start the battle cry challenge or was that happening?
I don't even know what you're talking
Everyone's
about.
trying to hit the note on TikTok now.
Oh. No, I truly
I feel like it
we
wasn't really a
started that.
thing.
Did you see Sabrina Carpenter do it? And she was almost like surprised that she did it.
Yeah, it was adorable.
Yeah.
It was adorable.
No, she was
Also,
cute.
apparently Sabrina and Barry broke up.
Good.
As they should.
Yeah, I wasn't really into them as a couple anyway.
No.
Like I was in the beginning for like the first week and then I was over it.
When your first love song about him is about "Don't embarrass me," you know where it's going.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Jack Harlow. I'm like kind of off him.
Why?
I just like I've been really taking into account like men's ages, and anything under my age, I'm like, you're a fetus.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even exist in the world. Have you ever paid taxes?
I was talking. No, I know. I was talking about how there's a certain age you hit as a woman where it starts being fun again to be with a young guy, because it's like you're like, oh, I could boss him around and teach him stuff, and like everything's new to him.
What age is that?
I think when Des dies, or when I'm around 48,
8.
I was gonna say like 44.
Okay.
Then it's like,
That's actually amazing because I feel like that will coincide with our facelifts.
yes. But then I'm upset if Des will never see my facelift.
Yeah, he'll be there in spirit.
Okay.
He's gonna be alive in 10 years. If I was Des and I listened to us, I'd be so mad. We make him 85.
I feel like occasionally he does listen to Giggly Squad, but he doesn't tell me. Like he does a check-in every now and then to just make sure we haven't gone too far. I think he's just like needs to know the temperature.
Are the girls okay?
Are the girls okay? If we're talking about men, which we are, this is my note. I wrote John Summit, ? I don't get what's going on.
You don't know who it is.
No, I know who it is, but I don't understand the lore.
What is the lore? All I know is that
First of all, he's a DJ.
He's a DJ, but he's an example of someone that like he made me feel old, even though I think we're actually like the same age, because on TikTok
He's in his 30s?
I think so. It felt like everyone knew who John Summit was, and like John Summit's been famous for years.
It feels like everyone knows who John
Summit
Summit is except John Summit.
No, I think he believes his own hype too.
Well, this is my thing. I support men in the arts. Is he like an insanely talented DJ?
I could never tell if someone was an insanely talented
Has there
DJ
ever
or
been
not.
an insanely talented DJ?
No, that's the question. I'm like,
I understand if you're like make your own beats, but if you're literally just playing the most popular songs back to back,
and like putting them
my cat
together.
can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a girl DJ, obviously she's talented, but boy
obsessed with
DJ is boys music's not for boys.
No, this is so funny you say that because every time I see Xandra come up on my
Yes.
TikTok and
You're like,
she's doing
art.
something, I'm like, I've never
Let
met this.
her cook.
I've never met her, but I'm so proud of her.
Also, girl DJs are cool. They're like girl stand-ups because you
No,
know that
she works.
they have to deal with like the men late
Yeah.
at night, and they're like, "Excuse me, I'm trying to mix
I'm trying
stuff."
to do my art.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, John Summit, I know that like he had like a thing with Ashton Earl or whatever, and if that's what's giving him like
forgot about that.
popularity, then I'm more upset because I don't want guys to be empowered because they were associated with a cool girl
You could
once.
just say, I don't want guys to be empowered.
No, but like,
Done.
I don't want his career being lifted because
I don't.
she let him touch him.
I'm
her.
not sure if it. I'm sure, obviously, like people found out who he was more because of her, but I don't think. I think it was mutual.
And
like,
also, right now, I'm doing it. Like, I'm giving John Summit more attention.
You're
but it's
giving him a
'cause
platform.
I'm giving him a platform. And, like, for all I know...
you're giving him a seat at this flower table.
For all I know, he's the sweetest man ever.
Yeah.
Where's Grace?
I'm not sure.
Because she's of that age. Grace!
She quit.
She's working.
she
She's like,
quit.
I'm working. Someone has to work in this business.
No, here's what I don't want. I don't want a man
He should use a beard.
in Vegas.
He could use a
John
beard.
should
That
get a
is
beard.
okay. That is the man that needs a beard.
I don't ever want a man to be in Vegas and posting Instagram stories about how much fun he's having in Vegas. Ever. No matter what your profession
Listening,
is.
what are you overcompensating for if you're having fun in Vegas?
You could be hired by the city of Las Vegas to talk about how great Las Vegas
Swipe
is.
up Las Vegas.
And I'm still upset.
Wait, do you remember swipe ups?
Yeah. Sad.
Like, rest in peace.
Swipe up.
I'm sorry. Like, for example, Benson Boone.
Who the fuck is that?
Benson Boone is the guy at the VMAs that jumped off the piano and did a backflip and hit the note.
Wait, let me say one thing. You know, like when you were younger and you would say something and your parents like would be like, I have no idea what that is. And you'd be like, oh my God, they just like don't. And I was always really scared to get to that age of like where I was like, I don't know what the kids are talking about.
Yeah.
I love it.
Peace.
I actively love. I feel better than people.
Maybe that's why I'm coming for John Summit, because I don't get it and it's making me feel old.
Being in a group of people talking about a celebrity or a pop star and me coming in and being like, I have no idea who you're talking about. I feel better than all those people. I'm like, sorry, I'm in the real world.
Tell me when you're talking about Whitney Houston or Nelly, okay?
Like, doing important
real artists.
real world things. I don't have time for your made up celebrities. Also, let's talk about how Gen Z has just like they make up celebrities.
Well, everyone's famous in Gen Z
Everyone's
culture.
famous in Gen Z. Everyone can get canceled in Gen Z. Everyone, like, they have no
one's safe from
They have no
anything.
structure.
They
have no hierarchy. That's their problem. They have no A-list celebrities, B-list celebrities, C-list. Like, there's no structure to Gen Z's celebrityism, and it
gives you whiplash.
It's too much.
It gives you whiplash. And
Everyone has the same name. Gracie Abrams, and that's the same name as someone else. I've known about her, but it's not her. Like, do you know what I mean? Gracie
Yes.
Abrams and
Gracie
John Summit, same person. Same person.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, who are either of them?
Wait,
We
they
don't
are.
know.
They are. Well, can someone
Yeah.
message in? Because, like, I don't want to completely bash, like, a man trying to do his best and working, even though it's in Vegas and whatever he's doing. What is the reason? What is the reason?
No, DJs have definitely. Shout out to DJs because they've really taken a profession that everyone has shit on for so many years and stuck to it. And they've doubled down and they've stuck with it.
My personal thing with DJs is I dated a jazz musician, as we all know, Jazzy John, back in the day.
Who could forget him?
One of my first loves, one of my many first loves. And he would go to restaurants for 3 hours and perform jazz. When I say perform jazz, I mean you have an instrument that you've been training for years to play and you're riffing. Like, jazz is like, he's just listening to what the people, I don't even know what he's doing, but he's making it up on the spot. Like, they're going on it's incredible. And they're getting paid $100. Then you have DJs who are pressing a button for 3 hours and getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's just a discrepancy there that I felt bad. Like, we went to a party in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
And he was standing there and the guy was just like playing off his laptop. And he was like, that guy's probably getting paid like $5,000-$10,000 tonight.
Should we do a DJ lesson?
Maybe. I mean, I could do it right now with my laptop. I mean, I do have to say shout out to my playlist. It's basically like the annoying friend who wants the aux cord all the time, who thinks their music. To be a DJ, you have to be delusional. That you think your music taste, people should pay for it.
Yeah. Where it's just like you just took the top 100 songs from a specific year and you put them all together.
Also, like, you're playing music that other people made.
Right. Well, that's the big thing. That would be like if at Giggling Squad we went on stage and we just said a bunch of jokes that other people have made, but we put them together really well.
No, we went on Netflix, cut up a bunch of Netflix specials that aren't ours, and just played them on TV and was like, this was funny, right? And I understand.
Wait, that's so true.
I understand DJs like to party and they like to be out there and they like to feel like they're bringing energy, but you fist bumping is not bringing energy.
Well, here's the thing with that, why we also don't connect with DJs is because I would assume that all DJs get energy from other people. Like, that fills their cup up.
I'm going to be honest.
We couldn't be more opposite of that.
They're getting energy from drugs.
Okay, and then there's also that.
They're pushers. They push people.
They're like, my set's at 2 a.m. Nothing good happens at 2 a.m.
I do need to do a shout out for talking about influencers. This girl posted the funniest TikTok that was basically like how influencers, I'm totally fine if you have a bad breakup with your boyfriend. But if you've been pushing down people's throats how perfect and amazing your relationship is to make people jealous for even 2 months, I don't give a fuck
About your 50-part series.
about your 50-part series, because you try to I'm about to do a 50-part series about how you inflicted pain on me.
Yeah, you gaslit me.
If you gaslit me and pretended your relationship was perfect, because I'm fine if you're lying to yourself, don't lie to everyone.
Yeah.
Lie to yourself. You're trying to make other people feel bad by posting you guys making out in a picnic and then commenting. If you're commenting on each other's posts, romantic things, like, I'm sorry.
Seek help.
Seek help.
Seek
but also, like, when y'all break
help.
up, I know people are like, tell us what happened. Actually, I know.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
that's why
no.
I feel like I'm such an advocate of like not posting your boyfriend on your own social media.
Yeah.
Because one day you guys are gonna break up. Sorry, but like
It's
you
basically
are.
like the friend who like sits down and she's like tries to make you jealous every day about how cute her boyfriend
like
is.
a one-upper.
Yeah, and then the next day she's like, you know, he treated me like absolute shit the whole time. You're like, I hold space for that, and
Yeah.
I feel bad.
I love that holding space has become such a freaking thing now.
I hold space for that. It's different when it's like a friend and it's like a personal thing, but when you've been using your relationship, I do like that you monetize it and use it for likes, but when you're using it to make other girls feel bad about their
Yeah.
relationship, and then you want them to hold space for you that you've been lying the whole time,
Yeah.
let's start off with an apology.
Yep.
Let's apologize for the lying. Also, let's stop lying.
Right.
You trying to make your relationship look good on Instagram for other people hurts them and hurts you.
Just don't post it in general.
You can post it, but post the fighting. Post the fight. Post and be like, I hate this man.
Yeah. No.
It's just the internet is lies.
Well, it's a lot of emotional drama that like you're not privy to, and you have to like get in the headspace of like, oh, and now we hate this man because I'm
Yes.
about to watch 30 parts of like the worst things ever. So it's a lot of admin for us because I'm like,
Yes.
oh, well, like, yesterday we were like obsessed. We were waiting for you to get engaged, and now we're like, we hate him. So it's a lot of catch up.
I'm
for
also
me.
not supportive of the Gen Z trend of I'm trying to go
Coming
viral.
for your own people.
No, I have to call them out because
Yeah.
they don't have more mature people in their life who've messed up in this
Yeah.
capacity. Don't try to get attention from
Rage bait.
don't rage bait people. Don't try to be like, okay, this is gonna go viral because I'm gonna say something so fucked up a guy's done to me.
Yeah.
Guys have done very fucked up things to me. I don't need to say it in public.
Yeah.
Because I don't need that attention.
I think we're in an area where becoming viral is like proving a conspiracy theory or like proving something that like everyone once loved is actually really bad.
Yes.
Like it's like finding
Well, it's
some like hidden truth.
fear
And it's-
mongering.
It's fear mongering. I don't like the word mongering.
I
don't
know. What is
why.
a monger?
It makes me uncomfortable.
I'm gonna go mong.
I don't love it. So yeah, I agree. And it's like really stressful. Like there was a girl like making a TikTok about like some club in New York City, and it was just like it was the worst club and it was
Yeah.
actually sex and I was like, oh my God, I think I've gone to that club. Is that really what was happening?
Yeah.
And then people like commenting being like, what are you talking about? Like
Yeah.
it just closed down. Like it's not like some secret. So it's just
Yeah.
like so many
It's
different
just, let's go back to the simple of like the energy you put out in the world is the energy you get back. Whatever happened to
Ooh,
like
yeah.
when a guy fucks with you, you give him
and you
nothing.
put ham on his car. Like whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to You never heard that? If you put is it ham or bologna?
Like you
If
throw
you
it.
put bologna on a car, it takes the paint off. I've never done it, but I've heard.
I love when Chris goes to his phone to be like, what the fuck are they talking? Is that some Italian
No.
mafia thing?
No, I think like girls like talked about it in high school. Eggs?
Eggs? How do you know that,
It's a
Grace?
ham and cheese sandwich.
Wait, Grace, you were gone. Why do people like John Summit? She was like,
She's
don't get
pre-
me involved
yeah,
in that.
she's like, this is about-
she was
She's like HR.
HR. But no,
Grace
what
has been begging for HR on this on tour, and we're just like, nope.
whatever happened to like you find out a guy's an asshole and you go, okay, he now has no access to me and I'm never talking to him again and he can't fuck with me and he's not a part of my life and he could watch me go be more successful than him. What happened to that?
What happened to silence? Truly. What happened to everyone just, I don't know, shutting the fuck up?
There's this comedian named, I believe it's Dana. Let me get her full name. I think it was Dana Donnelly. Dana, sorry. I have to give credit where credit
No,
is
it's
due
okay.
to this incredible comedian Dana Donnelly. Yep. She's hilarious. And I sent her video to Ken Urich.
I'm obsessed with Ken.
Because I felt like Ken needed. I'm like Ken's older sister that she didn't ask for.
Anything Kennedy does, I'm like, it's fine, just going through something.
Okay, so she goes, Dana said the opposite. She goes, tell everyone everything all the time so you're never a target for blackmail. And I feel like that's how Ken Urich lives her life.
There was a moment. Wait, actually, I think this is like when I became obsessed with Kennedy. This is years ago. Someone was trying to blackmail her. Like in 2020, and I remember her making a TikTok being like, "You're not blackmailing me. This is what it was.
This is what I did."
And I remember being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe blackmail is a real thing."
One thing I do stand by, and one thing about me, I will say, I've made mistakes. I've never lied.
Yeah,
I've never not told the truth. Call me crazy. Don't call me a liar. Call me crazy. Don't
if
call
I don't
me
owe
a
you
liar.
anything, I'll lie right to your face.
So this is the thing with saying everything on the internet is, yes, no one can blackmail you, but
What?
at what cost? At what cost?
No. Some of the things that some girls say on the internet, I'm like, you'd have to waterboard. You would have to physically
you went viral.
Me down.
You went on one. You're so right.
To get that information out of this little body, you'd have to torture me.
But that's why the internet's fucked up right now, because half the internet is lying.
Yeah.
And pretending there's something they're not. The other internet is telling too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. So we have to find a happy medium again, because the internet is full of lies and too much, and people exposing
I'm all
themselves.
about love and light and like not being ashamed of who you are. Some people should have a small percentage of shame, just like a little baby bit of shame, and what's the other word I'm looking for? Self-respect. Bring it back. Bring back self-respect.
Okay. Speaking of babies, my mom, who's in the room, actually told me the most insane IVF story.
Okay.
It was on the New York Times. And when I say New York Times,
well, but it's in the New York Times. Real New York Times.
When my mom sends it from the New York Times, it's a real New York Times.
A written article from the New York Times.
A written article. So this couple does IVF, gets their baby, and their baby's perfect. They love their baby. Their baby's
Is this
adorable.
going to be like a switcheroo story?
Basically, a couple weeks in, they're like, why is
Brand new fresh baby.
fresh? It's fresh.
Out of the womb. She carried it? She's
Yes.
pregnant. Okay.
A couple weeks in, they're like, that's an Asian baby.
Stop.
Like, at first they were like, they didn't know, and then they were like, that is an Asian baby. Now, there's nothing wrong with Asian babies unless
You, in fact, are not
are
Asian.
Asian. They were Spanish and Italian and Jewish
Okay.
with an Asian baby. And they love this baby. But they're like,
This is not our baby.
this is not our baby. So they go to the adoption agency. No, not adoption.
No,
Sorry. I'm sorry, because my mom's here listening to me retell the story. She told me I can't do it. Like, you know, when someone's like,
You're in school.
I'm
You're
so
in school
scared right now.
You're taking a test.
I'm so scared right
Well,
now.
how was your listening comprehension? Not
good. She's shaking her head before we even started.
Yeah. She's like, no, not
Okay,
this
so
right.
she goes to the IVF people.
She could never be on Giggly Squad because Giggly Squad is built on misinformation.
Inaccuracies. We are spreading fear-mongering lore.
Lies.
So they go to, I don't even know what an IVF, clinic.
A facility, if you will.
A house
Yep.
of IVF. The house of IVF. House of Prada. They walk in.
the couture house of IVF, the atelier house of IVF. There's one in Paris. They're building one in Italy.
And Milan, obviously. I went to IVF week in Amsterdam. Did not get invited to Tokyo.
IVF week is
IVF week.
so hard to get
This
into.
is our future. So they go to the IVF place.
Yep.
And they were like, our baby's Asian.
They were like, look what you've done.
They go, that's crazy, because there's another couple that just came in who's Asian, and their baby has red hair.
Yeah.
And look, there's no judgment going around.
Yeah.
But they were like, something's off, because the other people had red hair,
Okay.
right? So they're heartbroken because they find out these two families are 10 minutes away from each other.
Okay. How long have they had each baby?
2 months.
2 months.
So both families are like heartbroken because they're like,
Wait. Sorry, question for the mom in the room. Can you breastfeed a baby that's not yours? Yes. Oh.
Do you know back then communities would like communally nurse? Like they'd be like, we have kids and the moms take care of the kids. Like, I'm gonna nurse your baby.
No, you're not.
Wait, imagine the baby was like, not my brand.
She's like, you're always eating salty things.
No, the baby's like, did you have Mexican food last night? Wait, I mean, it probably differs a little, but no, all the babies can eat.
Oh, okay.
So the babies are eating. They're fucking connected to this baby. So at first they're like, oh, our bad.
The IVF place.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna start doing the legal things to switch it back. Because you can't just immediately switch it back, right?
Well, first the parents had to figure out if they even wanted to give up their babies.
So because they legally owned those babies, right?
No, I'm knocking on that door and being like,
So
cookie exchange.
No,
like, this is your
but that's the
baby.
thing, it wasn't a cookie exchange because they each felt so connected to their babies. So it was very hard.
Oh my God.
So because imagine you have Daphne for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That's how
I
I
knew
say it.
you had to
and
put
someone
it in my
goes,
perspective.
that's actually the baby that I
was supposed to have.
and they're
No.
like, we got it wrong.
No,
That's my baby.
I'm learning Asian culture. I'm doing the things.
So they decide to do this kind of co-parenting thing where like every day they see the babies to like,
Well, that's not sustainable.
well, yeah. So after a couple years, it's been like 5 years and now,
Older siblings, which made it really
oh yeah, there's older siblings. So they had to be like, your younger brother's not your younger brother. But apparently,
So now respective children live in like their biological
yeah, now they
homes.
see each other weekly, but like it's crazy because we're not moms, so we don't know that initial phase. But like the nights you spend with this baby,
Right.
also like I don't know how that person's been raising my baby.
This is so off-brand.
This is so off-brand.
This is so off-brand. The question I'm going to ask, I really wonder, what were the dads doing?
Nothing.
No, like what were the dads in this
Apparently
situation?
the dads were distraught.
Because it had to have been both moms were like looking at like each baby one night and we're just like, I
The
don't
dads
think...
definitely didn't notice, or they did, and they were like, "What Asian man were you fucking?"
Also, yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't more
Drama.
like discourse. Imagine
Yeah.
like someone was just like, I did cheat on you, and it's just like not a thing, whatever. I wonder if they're gonna how they're gonna tell the kids what happened, like when they're old enough.
So
to,
this
like,
is the crazy
comprehend it.
thing, and I'm not trying to fearmonger, but
We're obsessed with fearmongering.
apparently this happens all the time. But the
No.
only time people know is when it's a different race.
I have to hold space for that. That I wonder truly how often.
Well,
that
apparently
happens.
there's like not a lot of regulation.
Okay, well, I have always heard when you give birth, like, you know, when they take your baby to like clean it up or all this stuff, that like you do not let it go by itself.
Because they fumble it.
Yeah,
Because
so like you
all
set-
babies look the same.
I have a feeling because like manifesting, like when we have our own.
They're gonna switch our babies at birth.
No. When we are ready to have babies, I just have this feeling that like we're also gonna be in labor at the same time. And so like we're gonna rent like a house type situation.
It's
to
not the
have
real
them-
world.
To have them, and the doctors will come to us, and it'll be like a makeshift hospital.
It's not a laser girl that comes
No,
to your
I
home.
want it to be private. I want it to be the equivalent of flying private when I give birth. Like I don't want anyone around.
Are you gonna have a surrogate?
No, not like initially, but if I had to at some point have a surrogate, I would.
Grace is dying laughing. I heard the first one's the hardest though. I feel like after the first one, the rest just like drop out of your pussy.
No, I want to carry at least one.
Just for the experience. Just for experience.
Just for the experience, but then I feel like how do you
For the
say,
culture.
How do you say to like that kid that you didn't carry, like, yeah, I was over it.
You go, mommy.
Sorry.
Mommy did enough. I personally people will be like, actually no one's asked me, but if someone did and was like, are you afraid of like having a baby? I know in my heart of hearts, I'm going to shoot that baby out
No,
my
I feel like
pussy.
you're going to be so good
I'm going
at
to do it
having a
standing up.
baby.
No, I'm going to do it like people are afraid doing it in the cab. I'm doing it in the cab. Just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm literally going to be like, oh! I'm going to use all my quads.
No, I
and just
think
be
you're
like,
going to be so good at giving birth.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you. Like, you know, when I was like, oh, it took me 19 hours. 19
No.
minutes.
Yeah,
Give me 19
you're like-
minutes. I'm going to be
You're
competitive
going to
about
be
it.
in there and being like, this has got to be some type of record.
I do.
You're going to make people look up statistics and stats.
I want to be the Alona Mayer of
Yeah, you're going to
having
be
a baby.
looking up people's times. And you're like, maybe you.
Also, you know, some girls are like demure about everything, like how
Yeah.
they eat and like how they laugh. I feel like some girls try to be demure having a baby,
Giving birth.
like
Like
they
getting
have,
their makeup
They
done.
have makeup done. They're lying there, like their husband's in the room, and they're like, "Oh, I'm pushing." I'm literally gonna be like, "Whoa!"
Okay, 2 things that I think are off brand for me. Well, 1, not so much. First thing, don't want my husband in the room. See ya. Get out
Yeah.
of here.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I want him to see my pain. I want him to lock eyes with me the entire time.
I
and
don't want
feel
him
my
there.
soul and the struggle I'm going through.
I only want my mom.
Well, yes. Mom, did you have dad in the room? Why?
Do you know my mom didn't have my dad in the room?
It was just like,
It was like a connecting
I
thing.
want to see the baby born too.
Did you let him see it come out?
Yes.
And that's 2 types of
And
girls.
then I think I was elevated after that. Like, I could do no wrong.
My mom.
Because you guilt tripped him.
No, it's an experience.
He thought you were like a superhero.
He said something funny. The doctor asked if he wanted to cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
And he was like, is there a dotted line? I don't know what to do.
No, that's funny.
Men have one job to
Yeah.
cut the umbilical cord and you can't do it.
My mom did it in such a Giggly Squad coded way. They never put you under to have a C-section. They put her under. They're like, why don't you take a nap? You're annoying. But no, she was like really sick. So she was like put under when they took me out.
She was sick.
And I feel like
She was like, I'm sick.
I feel like that's so me. Like I had no idea what was going on. And then all of a sudden they just like lifted me out and I was like, this is fine. Like, that's truly who I am at my core.
When they
Like there was no stress on me for my own birth. Like I wasn't crying. I wasn't like fighting my way out. Like I was literally lifted out, laid in a different spot. And I was like, yes.
See, I probably had like a weird head angle because it came out weird and there was just like stuff. They did try to put a hat on me and I immediately started freaking
You're like,
out.
I'm not into
I
accessorizing.
was like, I'm not wearing this hat. I like got my fingers stuck on. They called me like, didn't they call me crazy animal? Wild
Okay,
child.
speaking of
Wild children.
yeah, and just like biological whatever, I watched The Substance over the weekend.
Do you need to hold space?
I want nothing to do with it. I'm not holding space. I'm not
You hated
like
it.
I hated
Well, 'cause it was artsy.
it.
It was
I
artsy.
hated it.
Tell me everything. What are your thoughts?
I'm obsessed with Demi Moore.
Obsessed.
I love her. I'm obsessed with Margaret Qualley.
Qualley.
I think they're great actresses. I'm really surprised that 2 really huge names signed on to do this movie because I thought the story of it very different, very like so pertinent to like our life
Culture.
and culture. I just felt like it took a turn into like a horror movie that I was not expecting it. I thought it was going to be a little more nuanced
Yes.
of like, first of all, you know how you have like your delusions of like you're a Michelin star chef, you're
Yes.
like a pop star, you can
Yes.
do all these things.
Yes. Not delusions. But
Sorry.
Continue.
They had no lines. I could have been an Oscar award-winning actress in that movie. They had no lines. They didn't talk. It was facial expressions. I just felt like it could have gone more, like made you really think, which I think it did,
Mm-hmm.
but I just wasn't expecting it to be as gory as it was. And I really can't watch stuff like that.
Yeah, it was. It's funny. I liked it because it was so unrealistic,
Different?
gory.
Yeah.
Like I can't watch realistic like
Murder.
those war
Yeah,
movies
yeah.
when they're like cutting off someone's arm. I'm out.
No.
I'm out. Like a second they put a leather strip in someone's mouth. I'm out.
What?
You know they make them bite down on stuff because they're like removing like someone's limb. I'm out. I'm out. I know the signs.
classic
I'm out.
torture. Yeah.
Classic torture.
Yeah.
But when it's so unrealistic, I'm like, this is kind of funny.
she got out of her body. Like, it was just too much.
I feel like it was the kind of thing where like it was missing something. Like I wanted
It was
a
missing
little
something.
more. But apparently people either love it or like despise it.
I felt the same way with what's the other one everyone loved? The Jacob
Saltburn.
Allure. Yeah. I was
love
out
Saltburn.
on that.
I loved it, even though it was ultimately about just what men will do for real estate.
My TV and movie taste, I like it girly and like pretty.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that you even did The Substance. Like
well,
I know multiple
everyone
times.
wanted to watch it, and I was like, I feel like it is.
Yes.
I do love Demi Moore. I feel like I haven't like watched Demi Moore in like a lot of movies.
The interesting thing is like she's beautiful in it.
Gorgeous.
And I guess some of the like lessons from the movie was first like it could always be worse, which I hate that. To be like, oh yeah, your life sucks. Well, it could be worse. It never made me feel better. Then the concept of like, would you rather look weird but not old?
Yeah.
Or look just old?
Well, I think it like the ultimate message, which I feel like it came across for women because we just like always experience this. But like truly when you hit a certain age or a certain part of your life, like you really are a second thought as like a woman.
Yeah, like people will say you're like invisible, like
Yeah.
you don't get noticed, which sounds so peaceful.
Yeah, truly.
Every time you walk outside, you're not like trying to like not get kidnapped.
I can't wait. I feel like people are always gonna try and kidnap me for the
Even though
rest
you've
of my
never been
life.
kidnapped once.
Okay, but I've had some close calls.
No, but they're just like you said earlier about how like you love that you don't know what like the pop culture is right now sometimes. There's like a peacefulness of getting older where you're like, I don't need to be in this like rat race you guys are in of like comparing and popularity and whatever. There's like a beautifulness.
But
of
like
aging.
Demi Moore in the movie was like sad about it. You know, like she is just like thought of differently, which I get that. Because I feel the same way even being in our early 30s, like once you get married or once you have a baby, like people think of you differently.
No, I'm literally so scared because once you start getting pregnant and stuff, it's like then you're just like this.
Yeah,
this
you're supposed to like
mother.
have it all together. You're supposed to be more mature.
Yeah, and also as performers, like touring, and if I want to be in movies or something, like you're pregnant.
Right.
Like not to bring back the movie, but it's like I can't let you in the club, bitch. You're pregnant.
Yeah.
I would fuck the shit out of you. But you old and pregnant.
Perfect example. Like you can't come to the club anymore. You're a mom.
You're beautiful, but bitch, you're pregnant.
Yeah, and that's like it's like sad, kind of. Okay, next thing I want to talk about. Did you see? This was like I don't know, maybe because I'm rewatching Gossip Girl, so I'm like so in that mindset. Did you see Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter Apple make her debut? Like such Blair Waldorf debutante ball. It looked like a movie.
So it was a debutante ball, first of all. Second of all, I didn't know that was legal.
A debutante ball.
I thought we'd moved on
You thought
from
we
debutante
abolished
balls. But I understand there's like high society things that are happening.
Obsessed with a debutante ball.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
I'm not quite sure exactly what it is.
It's
It's
literally
basically
for,
telling
like-
the world you're a woman.
Which, not necessary. So
Don't air my business.
I
How
also love
dare
that
you.
none of the boys that were there were also socialites, but no one gave them attention.
That's so crazy you say that. Didn't see one of them.
It was like boys and
Like
girls,
they
I
had
think.
dates.
But there's something creepy about it. I think it's creepy.
I knew you would say that,
Yeah.
but there's something, I like it because I love like a period piece. So there's
Yes.
something like I'm watching it as like fiction.
See, I see it as like these girls that have so much for them, but you're like, she's pretty and she's ready to get married one day. Girls used to get married off at 16.
At 9.
Why? Why are we celebrating this culture? Why are we celebrating that?
I just liked looking at their dresses.
Yeah, they could wear dresses whenever they want.
They
It
looked
doesn't have to be a
adorable.
debutante ball where the parents are like, "Look at my daughter who's had her period for a couple of years now and is finally ready to and has her boobs
Okay, well, when
grew."
your daughter comes to me because she really wants to be in the debutante
She's not going with
ball
Aunt Paige.
and you're not
She's not going with Aunt
letting her,
Paige. Do
I'm
not
gonna
go to Aunt
secretly
Paige.
sign her up for the debutante ball.
Well, she has to be more of a Nepo baby to get into debutante ball. It's also literally just a Nepo
All
baby
Nepo
party.
baby. Yeah. They need a space where they feel safe
They
too.
need us, you know what? If that's their space,
They need a space.
let them have their space.
And let it be in a castle in Paris, you know? That's where they've chosen to have their space.
I want to see a Nepo baby like Survivor episode. Like, I don't want to see all the Nepo
I'm
babies.
surprised there's not some type of TV show where it's like, let's round up all the Nepo babies. Let's talk to them, see what they're doing, see what's going on.
I don't want to see the Nepo babies at a debutante ball that their parents all paid for. I want to see them trying to survive on an island with no food or...
Yeah, I want the drama in the Nepo baby world. What Nepo babies don't like other Nepo babies?
Oh, yeah.
What's like the hierarchy of Nepo babies?
Yeah.
Like, are they like, you're just like a famous doctor's daughter? Like, we don't
Yes.
care. I'm
Yes.
Brad Pitt's son. Like,
Yes.
you know, like I want to know what their drama is.
But you know what Nepo babies I feel a little bad for? Not to be controversial right now. But with the society of like one day celebrities are cool, the next day they're canceled, the next day they're the greatest, the next day they're the worst. Like as a Nepo baby, like for example, like Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
like he's the greatest of all time. And Lily Rose is like the shit. And then like he's in this horrible trial and like she didn't ask for that, but then she has to deal with the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
Or like these old guys who say something stupid and it's like you have to be associated with your dad who's like
But think about like, okay, if your mom was famous and someone was coming at her, you would be like, and now I'll kill you.
well, it is kind of like
Like you would defend, you would be fine to be in it
think of like
because you're like,
Olivia
I'm going to
Jade.
defend my mom.
Olivia
Right.
Jade's another example of like Nepo baby. It's not her fault
Right, it's not her fault.
that her mom won, that she was dumb.
I'm obsessed with Olivia Jade and I'm obsessed with Aunt Becky.
Who's Aunt Becky?
Olivia Jade's mom.
Oh, I didn't really watch Full House. Oh, that's where you draw the line.
No,
After everything we talked about,
that's
that's where you
insane.
draw the line.
What did you do on Friday nights when it was TGIF? Like
How
when
old
we were
were
in middle
you?
school. It was
In
like
middle
Boy Meets
school?
World, Full House.
I was going and renting like a movie from like a local.
like Blockbuster.
No, we didn't have Blockbuster in Park Slope. We had like
What
small
was
businesses.
when you were younger? What was when you would go to the rent a movie?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you'd go through a phase where you'd rent the same movie every single time. What was like yours?
Oh my god, good question. We would.
Space Jam. You seem like a Space Jam
Oh,
girl.
I love Space Jam. We also watched like Power Rangers.
I like went through a
Power
Spice
Rangers was
Girls
cunty.
phase.
I did like Spice Girls. Power Rangers, like
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah, the pink one.
I'm kind of blanking. I realized I like blacked out my childhood in that moment. I have some documentary updates.
Okay.
Are you okay? Because they're like really intense.
No, I'm okay. Are you gonna start with the John Benet Ramsey one?
I wasn't going to, but let's do it.
Okay, I want you to because I don't want to watch it.
Okay. Yeah.
But I
No,
want-
perfect. You don't have to.
Okay, great.
Okay. So the crazy thing about John Benet Ramsey is that there's not actually a good documentary out about her recently. So I was very excited when this came out. What we're learning in this society is everything we watch, all the media we consume is biased. And it's by someone who's trying to get you to think a type of way. So we have to be smart when we're being fed information.
We have to ask questions.
We have to ask questions. So the documentary, the dad was in it the whole time, talking. And
Is he still married to the mom?
she's dead
Oh.
of cancer.
Oh. Recently?
Not recently.
Okay.
But they basically didn't bring up that it was ever the brother. Like it wasn't even brought up that it was the brother. And they leaned into it was an intruder. And as someone who doesn't know the case that much, I was like, okay, obviously it's an intruder. And they just made it sound like the police the whole time were like, it's the parents. Because they like, you know, when police decide something and then they don't want to look stupid. But then this guy kept like, the DNA wasn't matching anyone. To the
Okay.
point that I was like, can we recheck the DNA?
Yeah, why aren't they
kept
doing
finding
that?
people being like, it's this person, it's that person. There was foreign semen of a man, which is why I'm confused.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny.
No,
but the
but, like-
phrase foreign semen is not.
No, whose
not
foreign
lost
semen
on
is
me.
it? And I feel like in DNA days, I'm like, let's figure it out.
Also, it's not like this happened in the 70s. Like,
No, I know.
they could run the DNA. They could run it then. I don't get it.
Yeah, but they basically like so many people they've thrown in and the DNA doesn't match to the point that I'm like, I've seen enough documentaries. someone's DNA needs to fucking match. And then there were like ropes, and there's so many things that DNA could have been on. And I'm like, what's going on? It feels like someone's being covered for something. I don't know. But anyway, you watch it and you're like, okay, it was definitely an intruder, and they just don't know who the intruder was. And then there's all these crazy guys that call in and go, it was me. Because they're like these pedophiles that are obsessed with JonBenet. Like they have shrines of her and stuff because it's like a thing. And people are like, you're a pedophile, but you didn't murder JonBenet Ramsey, so don't try to like get famous off it.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
It's disgusting. So I watch it and I'm like, okay, it was an intruder. They never found it. Like, definitely an intruder. Then of course I'm on TikTok.
Yeah.
And they were like, it had to be the brother, and they covered it up.
The only thing that I saw that like is how she had eaten right before she went to bed.
The pineapple.
Yeah, which also like, what a weird
pineapple and milk.
What a weird snack.
Which that's where the law was broken.
No one talks about. I was calling the police after that.
The police should have been immediately called. Who in their right? Have some ice cream like a normal human.
That's crazy. Here's a very controversial, but like the only thing I can think of, because obviously like this it's been so many years and like she's dead. If you found out that one of your children killed the other child, aren't you covering it up for them though?
Yes, but also like whatever happened to just being like a horrible accident took place and like.
Well, maybe they obviously knew it wasn't a horrible accident. Like if my son kills my dog, oh my God, you don't even like say that. I'm gonna cover for him. Like I'm gonna try and not lose my second child. And that may be the wrong answer, but like instinctually, that's just like what I. The
reason the brother kind of makes sense is because if you're gonna break into a house, you're not gonna sit down with a pad of paper that they pulled from the house and write a 3-page letter.
No, you're also not
getting the fuck out of the house.
Yeah, you're also not staying. Yeah, you're not staying that long.
It was found in her, like the mom's pad. Like he took a page out of the mom's pad. The person who wrote, whoever it is. They did say that this also could be totally wrong because this was a TikTok, but they said that like she'd been at the hospital multiple times because like Burke was aggressive and like had some outbursts. And if that's true, then it's like,
yeah.
But I don't know if that's true.
No, I don't think we'll ever know.
I don't think we'll ever know. But Burke did not want to be involved in the documentary, and they like didn't bring the Burke stuff up once in the documentary, which I thought was weird.
Why did they keep doing this though?
Because
like,
Netflix.
If it wasn't the son, like okay, if they're or like say it was the son and the parents are covering for them, why do they keep doing this? Like I don't need a documentary in another 10 years about this. Like let her rest. Like I'm so done with it.
I think it's because unsolved murders make money.
Then
People
like
are
run
interested.
the DNA.
That's what I said. Run the DNA. Actually, the job I want.
Yeah.
I mean, the Innocence Project is like an amazing organization, but I want to be that bitch that's on the computer that is like, give me every case before 1970 or 80 or whatever. I'm DNAing that shit.
Imagine
like,
being
gotcha, bitch.
a murderer in the 60s. Yeah, catch me.
They didn't have text messaging. You literally could do anything.
You could do anything.
You could go anywhere. If you got caught murdering in the 60s,
so stupid.
You're a fucking loser.
Idiot.
You're a fucking loser. But I want to be that bitch that's like
you could change your name and no one could check it.
No.
Like you could put yourself in the witness protection program and it not even be a thing.
You could literally get in trouble in one state and go to another state and they wouldn't know that you were in trouble in another state.
I would love to do that.
No, it was insane. But nowadays, you Google one thing and
you
like,
could move states, start a new life, and no one would know. And that sounds so nice.
Rent a book on how to murder someone, read it, send it back, murder someone, and they'll be like, we have no idea.
And return the book. And no one would even know.
Because you put a different name, no one would know.
Yeah, no one would know.
I want to be that bitch that like some murderer is like chilling in his house because he murdered someone in the 60s. And I want to be like, knock, knock, bitch.
Yeah, we ran the prince.
Yeah, we ran the prince. I want all those people gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a policeman. I'm a policeman today. Okay, another documentary of villains. Sorry, I was giving space for it. Are you aware of Kundalini yoga?
You've only because of you.
Can you spell it?
No. You've talked about this documentary.
I've finished Breath of Fire on Max. People have to watch it, but it's basically, it's crazy, and watch it.
Okay.
The next one is the most upsetting one.
Okay.
It's called, what is it called? It's called The Shopping Conspiracy.
Wait, this is the one on Netflix?
It might ruin your life if you watch it.
No, that's why I haven't watched it, because people are like, I'm actually disgusted.
I actually don't know how we move forward.
Yeah.
So basically in the 30s, a bunch of businessmen came together and they were like, we're making light bulbs and it takes 2,500 hours.
I hate the man. Hey, we're making light bulbs now. You know, there was some wife being like, why don't you do your fucking chores instead of playing with your friends? Some made up thing you guys keep talking
Use
about.
fire like normal people.
Electricity, yeah, sure. Why don't you clean the pig pen and shut up?
No, you're going to be so mad at this. They go, okay, it takes 2,500 hours until this light doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
That's not good for business. Let's, after 1,000 hours, make sure that this light breaks down.
That's how I feel about my iPhone.
So that's so fucked up, right? That's now the business model for businesses. So Apple, all these people make sure that 1, it breaks down after a certain amount of time. 2, it's not fixable. Or if it is fixable, it's like impossible for us to like open it and do it. So
all the men do is lie. All they do is just lie.
We're all getting tricked left and right. And basically, the biggest problem is, okay, so you want us to keep consuming and keep buying because products are going to break. There's no end of life cycle for these things. So we're producing more items, more fashion, more electronics than at like
ever before.
Like they were talking about like Shein and like the amount of clothes that they're making is insane. And because it's cheap, you don't care that after a couple washes it breaks because you're like, it cost me $4. It actually was worth the wear.
Yep.
We don't have anywhere to put this stuff. Mm-mm. And let's be honest, we don't know what recycling is.
Mm-mm. I don't believe that they're doing the recycling either. I don't trust them.
So they're not. Brands will just say like, this is recyclable.
Yeah.
When they're not. And then they basically said stuff has to be either put into the air, the ground, or the water. Here's
the thing, specifically living in New York City, like every couple months or whatever, I'll get an email from my building being like, just a reminder, like we recycle and blah, 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 blah. But like when you see trash on the street, it's all just black bags of trash. So like where is the recycling? This is the thing, plastic, a lot of it is not even recyclable. So where are the iPhones, the MacBooks, where are these things going? Mm-hmm. It's going to other countries and they're just pouring it. They're basically like, Ghana is just full of clothes. Like, because they're just pouring clothes in their beaches. Thailand is full of laptops and people have to go in and try to like break them down. But obviously they're getting sick because of like the metals and shit. I have this weird thing where like I can't get rid of my old iPhones because I'm like, someone will try and frame me for murder. All my laptops and iPhones. I have like my laptops and iPhones. So you're saving the planet. I'm holding space for you to save the planet. But the problem is all these people are making things to break, but then not coming up with like a cycle and they just make it and they sell it and they're like, I'm rid of it. Yeah. But the universe is dying. Mm-hmm. Like this stuff is going into the ocean, the air, or the ground. Mm-hmm. It's not sustainable at the rate we're making products. Right. And we're fucked. What a happy note to end the pod on. What an appropriate note to end the pod on. I do have to say, wait, I kind of do want to watch that one though. I think you should. Yeah, I'm going to. It does make you want to like save the world. Yeah. But like it's definitely not going to be through plastic straws. Like not right. Like it needs to be a bigger overhaul. We need like government to have some like structure in place so all these huge companies can't keep like making so much stuff. And even like maybe let's make some stuff last a little longer. Mm-hmm. If we're going to be creating product. We are going to Mashantucket, Connecticut this weekend. We're going to Windsor, Ontario. Cleveland, Ohio. We have some tickets left. Check it out on our website. We love you guys so much. And thank you for giggling with us.